All right, today we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most classic and, frankly, clever cyber attacks out there. It's a kind of digital heist that happens silently, right under our noses, and it strikes at the very heart of something we all rely on: trust online. Let's dive in.
Think about it for a second. You send an email, you log into your bank, you message a friend. You see their name, you see their picture, but how can you be absolutely 100% certain the person or website on the other end is who they claim to be? This question right here is the battleground for the attack we're about to break down. So, to understand how this all works, let's meet the classic characters of cryptography. We've got Alice and Bob. All they want to do is have a simple, private conversation. Safe from any prying eyes. To do this, they use a really cool system called public key cryptography. And the core idea? It's surprisingly simple. Just imagine you have a special mailbox with a mail slot. Your public key is basically the address in that slot. Anyone in the world can find it and drop a locked message inside. But, and this is the important part, only you have the unique private key to actually open that box and read what's there. It's a fantastic system for secure one-way communication. So, the plan seems straightforward. Alice wants to send Bob a secret. She gets his public key, uses it to lock her message, and sends it over. Bob then uses his private key to unlock it. Seems foolproof, right? The messages are encrypted, the digital locks are strong. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, what goes wrong is when a third person decides to join the party. Uninvited, of course. An unseen listener. In the world of cybersecurity, we call her Eve, the eavesdropper.
And here's the absolute crux of the issue. The encryption itself, the digital lock, is incredibly strong. We're talking virtually unbreakable. The weak link in this whole chain of security isn't the lock, it's the moment they hand off the keys to each other.
So, Alice and Bob are exchanging their public keys over the open internet. Maybe they're on public Wi-Fi at a coffee shop or an airport. So what happens if someone like Eve is just sitting silently on that same network, right between them, watching that whole exchange take place? And this is where the perfect deception begins. Eve is about to turn what Alice and Bob think is their private channel into her own personal listening post. You see, on the one hand, you have the plan. Alice and Bob think they have this direct, secure tunnel between them. But the reality is completely different. Eve has quietly inserted herself right in the middle, and now she's acting as a secret switchboard operator for their entire conversation.
Okay, so here's exactly how the attack goes down, step by step. First, Alice tries to send her public key to Bob, but Eve intercepts it before it ever gets there. Then Eve sends her own public key over to Bob, but she pretends it's Alice's. Bob has no reason to doubt it, so he uses this fake key to lock his message for Alice. But of course, Eve has the matching private key, so she can now unlock and read everything Bob writes. Now here's the really brilliant part. After she reads it, she re-encrypts the message with Alice's real public key, the one she intercepted at the beginning, and sends it on to Alice. And that's the truly insidious thing about this. To Alice and Bob, everything looks perfectly normal. The conversation is flowing, the messages are being sent and received, the locks seem to be working. They have a complete but totally false sense of security. They think they're talking to each other, but they're really having two separate, secure conversations with Eve. They're totally compromised and they have no idea. So this sounds bad. How in the world do we stop Eve? Well, the answer isn't a stronger lock. The solution is all about verifying identity.
You could build the most complex, unbreakable digital lock in the world, and it wouldn't solve this problem. Because the lock was never the weak link. The real problem was trust. Bob had no way to prove that the key he got actually belonged to Alice. So the solution isn't about better encryption, it's about better identity.
And this system of verification is built around something called a certificate authority, or a CA. Think of a CA as a highly trusted digital notary for the internet. Its entire job is to verify a real-world identity, like a person or a company, and then officially, cryptographically, bind that identity to a specific public key.
Probably the best way to think about it is as a kind of digital passport office for the internet. It issues an official, extremely hard-to-forge document that proves you are who you say you are in the digital world.
So how does this actually stop Eve? Okay, so now, before Alice sends her key, she first goes to a CA and gets a digital certificate. This certificate contains her public key, but it also has something else, an unbreakable digital seal from the CA. When Alice sends this certificate to Bob, his computer or browser automatically checks that seal.
It already knows and trusts the CA, so it can verify the signature is legit. Now, if Eve tries to swap in her key, she can't forge the CA's official seal. Bob's computer will immediately see the forgery, raise a massive red flag, and just abort the connection. The attack is stopped dead in its tracks.
So what does all this technical stuff matter to you every single day? Just look up at the address bar in your web browser right now. See that little padlock icon next to the website address? That is this entire system in action. That lock is your browser telling you that it has successfully checked the website's digital certificate with a trusted CA. It is your guarantee that you have a secure, and more importantly, an authenticated connection. It's proof that you're safe from a man in the middle.
So let's end with this thought to chew on. The battle for our online security didn't just stop at keeping messages secret. It had to evolve into a battle for proving identity. As we enter this wild new age where AI can create perfect deepfakes, making it harder than ever to trust our own eyes and ears, you have to wonder, will this kind of hard, mathematical, cryptographic proof be the only form of truth we have left to trust?